I love the idea about being on the grind as if it was like being in your Rocky cutscene, except this Rocky cutscene doesn't have the nice Eye of the Tiger song going over the back, and it doesn't last 3 minutes, it lasts about 3 years. And it's not glamorous. It's not a nice, yeah, I'll just do a bit of training, cutscene, boxing, like running around, doing some work. Nah, it's just every day you get up, you show up, you do some work, you hit the gym, you make sure that you eat clean, you're getting bored of eating the same boring food, you're craving some salty, greasy, fatty goodness, but you leave it out. You're eating rice and chicken every day. Like I said, it's not glamorous. And it's not just a 3 minute thing that you can just, I'm just gonna put my head down and do it. Like, nah, you're gonna have to come up for air at some point. But you basically just gotta hold your breath for as long as possible. You don't really know how long it's gonna take. 3 years is a pretty reasonable time frame to put on something, as long as you're working hard at it for 3 years. I think 3 years is a reasonable time frame, but you might manage to reach some level of success in 1 year. You might have to wait 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years until things start really taking off. And some days, for me personally, it feels amazing. I wake up and, I have a vision of, it was probably 8 or 9 months ago, and I was, shit, now this would have been nearly a year ago now. God damn. It was about a year ago anyway, and I just have a vision of, it was a Saturday or Friday or Saturday night. It was about 8 or 9 o'clock, and I'm in my little sort of lean-to washroom thing where the washing machine and the tumble dryer is, and there's like tools lying around, and I've got my rings. I'll put a photo on. I've got my rings in this like dingy little, just breeze blocks, no plaster, nothing, just breeze blocks around this thing. Rings hanging over the rafters. Soft, those like jigsaw puzzle foam mats that you get in like MMA gyms and stuff like that. Laid them on the floor, and I was just hitting hard calisthenics workouts in this little gym on a Saturday night, while I know full well that everyone else is out drinking, partying, chatting to girls. And I remember feeling super empowered at that point. And there's still times now currently when I feel really good about getting shit done in the day, hitting hard workouts and then coming home and back testing or whatever I need to do to get me towards where I need to be. Some days it feels super empowering, but I'm not gonna lie, most of the time it's just I force myself to do it. I force myself to show up. I have to roll out of bed. I can't really be bothered to do any of the things that I need to do. Some days when I'm feeling like shit, all I want to do is just order a takeaway and watch some Netflix in the evening. Like, I've been feeling pretty shitty just for like no real reason, and I've wanted to drink some alcohol. But I say to myself, even if you don't have the most productive day ever, as long as you don't make sure you're stepping backwards by eating shitty food, takeaways full of seed oils or whatever other shit they got in a takeaway, or drinking alcohol, or spending the whole day like a vegetable watching TV, as long as you at least took maybe a half step forward, went just a tiny little bit closer to your goals. You actually went to the gym for an hour, did an hour's workout, and you did a couple of hours work, and you read for half an hour, and you did, the little smaller things that whatever you like to do in the day. For me, it's gratitude, meditation, a little bit of reading. I put a video out like this. As long as I get those things done in a day, even if it's not the most productive day where I get hours and hours of work done and hit a really hard gym session and blah, blah, blah. As long as I've done those things, checked them off, and not regressed, not ordered that takeaway, spent money on stuff that I didn't need to, drunk alcohol, watch TV all day, etc., etc., then it's a good day. Because that's all that it comes down to. Just showing up every day on days that you don't feel like it. It's not about coming and doing 12-hour days, because realistically you're doing 12, 16-hour days. Maybe when you're 5-10 years deep into this sort of like work mode and you get really good at it, maybe then you can do 12-hour days of work, productive work, potentially. I wouldn't know. But early on, honestly, at least for me, like, there's no way. I could maybe do it for a week. I could maybe go a full week where I'm hitting, 2-hour workouts, hit at the charts all day, productive, getting all that done, doing my full routine, doing back testing, recording, editing videos for 12 hours straight. I could maybe do it for a week. I can't go much longer than that. But as long as I'm, as I say, getting those little bits done through the day, showing up every day and making sure that even if I'm not even really stepping forwards, as long as I make sure I'm not stepping back, then I'm going in the right direction. You're not going to last doing these 16-hour days months and months on end. Just show up and do the bare minimum, or even on your worst days. You're going to have good days as well. Like I say, there's days where you feel empowered and you feel great about not seeing any mates for months. You feel like a sense of pride and you're proud of yourself basically, and you want to do all these things. And on those days, yeah, you're going to smash it out. You're going to take a big leap forward instead of just a fucking baby little shuffle. But as long as on your worst days you're showing up and doing the bare minimum, then you're progressing forward and you're going to get where you need to be. And it's also worth bearing in mind that while you're on this rocky cutscene, on this journey, you're not in your final form yet. You're not where you need to be. You're not even close to being the man that you're striving to be, and that's fine. We all have a journey. We're all getting there. But it's worth maybe just looking even shitter than, taking a little bit of knock in certain areas just to make other things easier. Like, for the most part, for me, I'm either at home working, at work working, or at the gym. So I don't see any real need to dress up nicely. Now, when I go to work, I work in a bar, so black jeans and a semi-smart shirt. And that's like the smartest that I'll dress for the whole week, pretty much. On occasion, if I want to go out and I know that I'm not going to get sweaty and gross, then maybe I'll dress up a little bit nicer. But like I say, I'm either working or in the gym training. So there's no point to dress up. So I'm taking a little bit of knock to my appearance because it's making my life easier. Things such as, it's kind of like going on a bulk in the gym. You take a little bit of a knock to your physique. Like, you look fatter, you don't look, even though you are bigger, you probably don't look quite as big because your muscles are less defined and stuff like that. And you're taking that kind of, in a sense, a step back in order to get forward quicker, if that makes sense. Because, like I say, you're not in your final form, so you may as well just embrace that you're not where you want to be. Just go full, fuck it, whatever. I'm not where I want to be. I'm on the way. I don't look how I want to look. So anyway, I might just throw it to the wind and do what I need to do to get to where I need to be, not care about the interim. And it is lonely, man. It is lonely when I say stuff like taking a knock to your appearance. You're not going to get as much attention from females, and you probably don't have time to meet him anyway. You probably don't have time to meet mates. Unfortunately, it's lonely, and like I say, it's not glamorous, it's hard. And it doesn't last 3 minutes, unfortunately. It goes for 3 years, probably at least, without really seeing any improvements. And that's kind of the point I'm at now. I'm in this limbo point where my old mates were doing the same habits that they've been doing since they were 15. And I've progressed past that. I don't do that anymore. But the women and men that I want to associate with now, I'm not there yet. I don't have the physique, I don't have the looks, I don't have the money or the status. And Hamza did a little video on this recently, and most men wouldn't consider themselves less than probably a 5 out of 10, and that's if they're insecure. But if you take your money and your looks, status, personality out of 10, add them all up, divide it by 4, I think I did this, I ranked myself like a 4 or 5 out of 10 on all of these combined things. Like, most men wouldn't really see it like that, but realistically that is where it's at. So you just got to firm it out until you are where you want to be, until you have got the funds up, you have worked on your personality through introspective whatever, you know, traveling, getting cultured, you have the status. I think that will kind of come with money and personality and looks, doing things orthotropics to make your face more angular, cutting water out, and obviously getting bigger, getting a good physique. And until you're there, it's like you're in this limbo point. Better, well, I say better, but you've progressed past your old mates and the lower class women basically, and the higher level of people, you're not there yet, and it's like this limbo. It's rough, man. It's rough, it's lonely, and it's hard work, and all you can really do is put your head down and get that shit done. Go through that rocky cutscene and try to enjoy it. I'm really trying to enjoy the journey. But this one was kind of just a note for self, a kind of video diary, so that I can look back on this shit and see where I was at this time. Because I know I'll think fondly of these days within the next 12 months